Hey, beautiful people. We are back with an all-new episode of Point of View, and we are so excited, as usual, to have our guest co-host, Danielle, joining us. Welcome back, girl. We're loving the hair, girl. I wish it was me. I'm a little jealous. Okay?
Girl, I thought you was going to welcome me back.
Ooh. Girl, you girl. Wow. Welcome back. Thank you for coming to work today.
About me.
Listen, coming up on today's show, Judy and TD Jakes stepped down as lead pastor of the Potter's House, and Terrence Howard reveals why he turned down the Marvin Gaye biopic. And later, in Unpopular Opinion, we're talking all things prom, plus a little mind, body, and soul to round it out. So pull up a seat, join the discussion. You're watching Point of View. After suffering a mild heart attack last November, Bishop T.D. Jakes has officially announced that he is stepping down as pastor of the Potter's House after nearly 30 years. His daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and her husband, Teray Roberts, will take over leadership while Bishop Jakes remains as board chairman and spiritual overseer. Even though many view this as a well-earned retirement, others can't help but wonder if there's more to the story. It ain't my business, but what y'all think about it?
But we gonna talk about it, okay?
Well,
so the story goes, allegedly, Mr. Jakes has been seen with Mr. Diddy a lot in the past, and there are photos and there are videos, and he might, come out in this story once it all unfolds and unravels. Some things might be said. So I feel like he's stepping down and out the way right now, trying to get ahead of the story.
I kind of agree. I see it both sides. It's definitely probably time for him to retire. He's been in the game a long time.
He has.
But all the stuff that's already come out a little bit with him and Diddy, I would take that step back too.
Right now, while it's safe. It's still safe right now to step back.
It's been 30 years.
He has had a phenomenal, I don't know, do you call that a career as a pastor?
I think so.
He's had a phenomenal career as a pastor, as a producer in the film area. I mean, he's done really great things. And I think this is probably just a well-earned retirement. Even if all those things from before, I don't know, we don't know what happened. But we can't take away from the fact that he did some great work, and it's a time for him to retire, and that's a good thing. He passed it on to his daughter, who I hear
she's
great,
amazing, and so it's in good hands.
Yeah, I do want to take a minute to highlight Sarah Jakes Roberts, because she is a mighty, phenomenal, powerful woman of God, and so even for the Potter's House, and she's really advance the ministry as well. And, one thing that Bishop Jakes was talking about is that the times have changed so much. And so, sometimes you need fresh blood coming in. We see this in content creation. We see this in film. We see it in all different areas where you kind of have to stay up to speed. And so, in a time where, he's getting older, he's slowing down. And so, I can't speak to what his sins or shortcomings may be. I know that we all have shortcomings. I do know that pastors and prophets and people of the cloth are supposed to hold themselves to a higher standard. And so I really do hope that, a lot of these allegations are not true.
I hope not.
People are lied on every single day. So, it really is judge not lest ye be judged. And
would y'all look at him differently if these allegations do come back to be true?
I would look at him the same way I looked at him all of the years that I loved and followed Potter's House, as a human being who is not without sin.
And that's the thing, like you said, that they hold them to a higher standard. I think that's the thing, like, people do that with people in the ministry, but at the same time, they are human. So you can't expect, like, yes, they're supposed to be holy, they're supposed to, but, like, no one is perfect regardless of who you are.
Right.
Pastor, preacher, whatever.
But mistakes are only mistakes one time.
Yeah, that doesn't mean somebody will fall, but I think
it's a choice the first time.
It's the repentance.
Yeah.
Is where it comes in at. Are you willing to repent? Are you willing to go to God and say, this is what I've done, to bear yourself, be introspective and say, this is what I've done. Lord, forgive me, and, you know, get that repentance. I think that's where it comes down to. And yeah, not be a repeat offender over and over and over and over. Even though, what is it, 70 times 7, you know, for forgiveness. But, you know, grace. But then, you know, you have some, you know, things up in there as well that you have to deal with those consequences. But I really hope it's not true. I don't want to hear that about him.
Yeah. The public is really having a hard time accepting that, you know, TD Jakes is putting his health first in this situation. So I'm not even going to say I'm interested to see how this plays out. I really do pray that God gives him grace. You know, in this situation, and that we don't have to hear that he was in the baby oil scandal, Lord, because I don't even.
Ooh, Lord, please don't.
That'll kind of tarnish his legacy a little bit, even though it shouldn't overshadow like everything he's done over the years.
Well, hey,
more than likely,
well, it shouldn't,
we did it with Diddy.
Right.
Diddy produced great music. He made great artists, and he, you know.
But we don't hold him to no kind of
we never thought Diddy was holy, though.
Right.
We never thought that.
Not holy, but a mogul in the industry for
He was
sure.
always a little
Well,
weird,
a mogul
though.
don't
You would expect that they were having Diddy parties. They were all there. We know this.
Diddy was there.
He was.
Who was it?
Lord,
TD Jakes.
we don't know what he was doing. We don't know what he was doing.
He wasn't praying that.
He was there trying to save souls.
Baby, the proof is in the pudding. We don't know what he was doing.
Now, listen, you know what I want to know on another topic, I want to know, was Terrence Howard there? Because in a recent interview, he recently said on a Random Club podcast that he turned down the Marvin Gaye biopic because he didn't want to fake it and kiss a man. He insists that it wasn't about homophobia, but fans were definitely raising eyebrows. Before we get into it, let's take a look at this clip.
Marvin Gaye was like, you would have been perfect as Marvin Gaye, and that is a story that needs to be told.
Let you know what happened with that. I was over at Quincy Jones' house. I'm asking Quincy, I'm hearing rumors that Marvin was gay. And I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Oh.
They would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would cut my lips off.
Yeah, no.
I would.
Okay,
if I kissed some man, I would cut my lips off.
Well, I would not do that, but Marvin.
I think it's interesting. We know that over the years, Terrence Howard has been very controversial and true to himself.
Yes.
And so I'm definitely not surprised that he said that. And I really don't take anything too much from it because, you know, I grew up in a house where, you know, my dad often said this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and for some people, you know, especially men that have to be so masculine, and I'm all for a masculine man now. You know, but, you know, they just got, you know, so, hey.
It's so sensitive these days, but I think that he can have his opinion. He can decide what roles he's going to take and not going to take. I think he kind of takes it too far sometimes because you could have said, hey, I found out he was gay. I'm good on that. That's not the kind of roles I want to play. But the whole cutting off your lips, like, why you had to take it there? And if y'all ever seen Empire, I low-key feel like this is how he is, like, for real. Like, if you seen Empire when Jamal, he put the son in the trash can because he was wearing heels. Like, it gives, like, that's kind of you in real life. But he made it clear he was not at a Diddy party. He said, no, I'm not going.
He did say that one time he met with Diddy, I think at his house or something, at Diddy's house.
Is he the one that did it
what was going on?
And Diddy was like, you know, can you teach me, you know, acting and stuff? But he said he was starting to feel like, nah, this ain't really about no acting.
And somebody called him and told him what Diddy really wanted to do. And he said, oh, no.
To the Nizzo.
Won't be going over there no more.
That's what he said. Done with that. Yes, child. That's what be happening out here in these streets.
He's very true to himself, though, like you said, though.
He's true to himself.
Yeah, I like Terrence. I don't feel like he was wrong in anything that he said.
It's just so sensitive. Like everything, you have to be on your P's and Q's
You feel like
when
he
you
was
talk about
sensitive?
like the world, these times, these days. When it comes to like gay, homo, like being homophobic, being like any little thing that group doesn't like. Now you're being homophobic. Now you're being, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he was being homophobic. I think he was being true to himself. Not everybody wants to be gay.
Yeah,
and I
or
think
play a gay
that's
person.
okay.
Right.
Or play a gay person. And that's okay to be that way. And that's not everybody. Some people that's for,
if
some people
somebody
that's
reached
not.
out to y'all for a role to kiss a woman, would y'all
I don't want to do that. No. And I don't want no boobies touching me. I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't want no woman lips touching
you
me.
be tripping about the boobies. Like, we take pictures every day after the show, and she's like,
They used to do that to me in church. Everybody had big boobies, right? They have a pile up to the mic, and everybody's boobies like on my back. I said, oh, hey, you got to get them boobies up off me.
Now,
Because I don't want it.
Now, why do you think that
They
there's
don't
like
know
a
how
double
to act,
standard?
Lord.
Now, why do you think it's like a double standard though? Because it's low key like okay for a woman to play gay, but then when a man does it, everyone automatically thinks he's gay in real life. It's a problem. It's an issue.
I think that sometimes they think the same about women when they do it as well. It's just a fantasy, it excites them, so it's just like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But a
And
guy.
then sometimes when you play that kind of role, when you play that kind of role, then that's the role. And that happens to a lot of, I think, black males, and that's why a lot of them say they don't want to do it, because then they're put into that role all the time, and it's like they can't break out of that once they do it that one time. Then that's what they're going to keep getting casted as.
Yeah, and I also think, you see a lot of times with actors that, they spend so much energy getting into those roles that sometimes they can't come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're channeling a whole nother spirit, especially when it comes down to something like, a legend. You want to, personify that energy and all those things. Who knows? He might have been Marvin Gaye for real.
Yeah, you want to be real about the character. You want to bring it.
Yeah, so although Marvin Gaye is a legend, Terrence Howard cannot relate to his story. And so, I mean, I think that was very interesting. And, Terrence, do your big one, honey. Say what you got to say. I think, but with this moment, though, it seemed like he was trying to have a Cat Williams moment. They kind of always looking for that clickbait. They want to say something a little extra. But
I'm not playing with you.
He
I
would have
wonder
been
who's
so
going to play
good,
Marvin, though.
He would have been so good because he's such a good actor.
I know it better not be that Michael B. Jordan, okay? Because I'm sick of him. All right, but we got to take a quick commercial break. Coming up right after this, we have Unpopular Opinion in Mind, Body, and Soul. Stay tuned. You're watching POV.
Back. I got a question. So, y'all, what is a generic version of something that you would never buy?
I'm going to say NV Luxury Exclusive. That's the letter N, letter V. Luxury Exclusive skincare. Because it's organic. No, honestly, it's organic. It's natural. It's made well, and there's no corners being cut.
No,
and it feels good.
I think you missed it.
And
what you would never.
No, and I would not do anything generic to replace that at all. Not for my skin.
Is that your skincare line?
Yes.
I know that's right.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, see how she just.
And I would not choose generic over it. I would not.
Well, I'm gonna take it to food. Heinz
Period, me
ketchup
too.
and Hidden Valley Ranch, baby. I'm not buying nothing else if it ain't those two.
Okay.
Don't give me that other.
Okay.
No, baby, I'm telling you, because if I see Hunt's, I'm cutting up.
Hello?
I do not want no Hunt's ketchup.
And Kraft Ranch? No.
Honestly, though, I do not. I don't buy generic anything.
Period.
No,
You're a name brand.
I'm a name brand girl, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to try me with no flakes of corn instead of cornflakes, baby. Give me the
No,
real
that's
thing.
not happening.
Okay. Well, y'all drop down in our comments and let us know what generic version of anything you would never buy. We would love to hear from y'all, and we're gonna get back to the show.
Welcome back. This is that part of the show where things might get a little controversial and where our views don't always line up as if they ever do.
Right.
Let's get into unpopular opinion. Okay, so y'all know it's that time of year again, prom season, but let's be honest. Prom today is nothing like it was back in the day. So today we're breaking down a few unpopular opinions about prom then versus now. Let's jump right in. Woo! First up, would you let your teen spend $1,000 on prom? I have a senior that should have went to prom this year. He did not go, but we were ready to roll the red carpet out. He didn't want to go. But I got one going in 2 years, and I plan to break the bank.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
$1,000.
That's not. That's
on
nothing.
My teen, right? On my teen, like, is that just the dress? Because these dresses
or
are expensive.
the whole experience. Because
like you gotta get the limo, like you gotta get the nice car, you gotta get the car rental,
hair,
you have to get the is the teen a
Does
girl or a boy? Because the girl is gonna come with
gonna
that
cost some money.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's funny too. Even with that quick one, just thinking about then versus now, and so now we see these teens. I mean, they are rolling it out. I mean, they've got lace,
baby.
cleavage. The dress look like it's floating in the air. All these things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, baby. Because it's her wedding, honey, and I hope you got some chastity left. But listen, no, for real, because these parents be letting their kids stay out until the next day. They know they ain't coming home.
listen,
Okay.
baby, by the time I have a child and they go to prom, they gonna be going in spaceships or something at this point. I don't even.
Is it just because of new times? Because I came home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we was not having no hotel.
Listen,
I had a hotel.
My daddy was
and you know what? I ain't gonna lie. You look like you had a hotel.
Whoa, not too much.
Yeah.
I was with my homegirl. Not too much.
You look like you. No. I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying you look like you was able to finesse your parents.
But
to
no,
say, I'll see you
my
tomorrow.
parents was actually like strict. But what I guess it was like, we'll let you have a little fun for prom.
Wow.
And me and my friends had got a room close to like where our little prom
It was any
or
boys
whatever.
there? Yeah, right.
Listen, when it was like people like make you come home though, one thing about it, Westgate hated to see my generation coming because
Oh, girl, I was part of the
homecoming, exactly, homecoming, prom. Best believe it was parties. People had rooms. They would spend the night, spending the weekend. Westgate hated to see us.
But the
coming.
thing about it, even though they might have hated to see us coming, there was not no real fighting going on.
It was just loud music.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure they would really prefer to have some of that today than these kids with these firearms.
Hello?
But we came across this post on X that stated, getting your kids' hotel room after prom is crazy. How do we feel about this?
I think that's crazy. Like, what do you need a hotel room for? We could just have, like, rent something else out that's not a room with beds and sofas in there and with some chairs and tables, and everybody, you can go to the after party and have that after prom.
But they wanted them kids want to smoke that vape pen.
Oh, they want to smoke
Or the other stuff.
Lord, exactly.
I don't think I don't think I will be getting my child, any type of hotel room, just because I feel like that automatically, like, it just opens the door to too much to happen. I came home after prom, baby, you're coming home after prom.
Then the stigma after prom, like, especially if you go with a date or that's like you're in your relationship and
it's automatically like, in my mind, I think you're going to have sex.
Listen, I know plenty of people,
who wait.
not to speak to the kind of people that I used to know, because I don't know them no more. But I knew plenty of people back in the day that was their story. They got pregnant on prom night. I'm sure you guys,
I'm sure that's a great story to tell.
It is not, baby. But when that man go off on that basketball scholarship, baby, you never see your baby daddy again.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure it would be a great story to tell if it was, something long term. But to get pregnant on prom night and then you end up a single mother,
child.
Yeah. But what about prom fashion? Do we feel like it's changed for better or for
overboard.
worse?
First of all, it's just a lot. But even just this generation dress differently anyway. But like, it's so revealing. It's so like they look grown as heck.
Oh wow,
Lord Jesus.
Some of them aren't even revealing though. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
No,
like,
not all
some
of them.
of the girls' dresses like
No, they're beautiful, but they're not age appropriate.
Correct. That's the point I was trying to make.
What are
She
they,
looks
like
gorgeous,
18?
though.
17? Aren't they 17, 18 years
Yeah,
old?
Well,
like-
the new 17, 18-year-old look like this anyway.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
Sad to say.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
even
So, like,
when
what
we
is-
they 30.
What is age appropriate for a 17,
let me tell you.
18-year-old?
Let me show you. I'm wearing what's age appropriate for 17, 18 year olds.
Callie, get out
Let me
my
tell
face.
you. When I went to prom, this is what we had to wear.
Stop
a
it,
shawl, baby. Okay. This is what we had to wear. Because, my mama raised me up right, baby. Because any dress we had, we was going like this.
They
They swear you was gonna get cold.
I swear I did not wear that shawl. She wanted me to wear it so bad, and I was like, no, Martha, no, I'm not wearing it.
We had to wear it. You was bad.
It's just different.
But listen, what advice would you give your 17-year-old prom self? I don't have no advice to give mine because I ain't had no worse. I went to about 6 proms in 2 years,
I did
baby.
too.
I was
I did
everybody
3.
date.
I only went to mine.
Okay.
I didn't even want to go, like, especially like as a junior and all that stuff. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go my senior year.
Girl, no, I was in prom as a freshman.
Girl.
I went to a bunch of proms.
Me
Just
too.
like, yeah,
All
yeah.
my sister's friends was like, my sister was
Yeah.
a year, 2 years in school older than me, which is a year older than me in age.
Yeah.
All her friends who ain't had no date. Yeah, let's go. You gonna buy my dress?
Right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I went to prom in New York. I went to prom here, of course, a couple here. I remember 8th grade, 11th grade. I was going to proms and proms.
You went to somebody prom in the 8th when you was in 8th grade?
Yes, 8th grade.
Yeah, social. Yeah.
That's 8th grade. You didn't have an 8th
I
grade.
thought she meant like she went to like a 9th grade, like a high school prom, which was in the 8th grade.
That wouldn't have been age
I
appropriate.
did go to a high school but I don't think I was in 8th grade. I think I was in like 9th or 10th grade by then. Yeah.
Tell me
I think
something.
so. But I mean, I wouldn't give myself any advice other than have fun, because that's what I
Right,
did. I had a
right.
really
Live
great
your
time
life.
and just had a real, I had fun.
We got to move on to the next
Yes, I'm
segment, but I
sorry.
do want to say really quick. Do y'all remember, because this was I wore this about everybody at prom. You know that style back in the day? We used to call it the raw digger, where you had your hair with the hump on the top and the ponytail in the back. They might have called it the snooky, but raw digger was a rapper at the time. That was her
not Rod
hairstyle.
Digger or Snooki, but we did have the little hump in the front and the little knot twist and stuff.
Yeah, see, same thing, baby,
I
different
didn't have
name.
it.
But it's time to move on to our final segment of the day. Let's get into mind, body, and soul. Okay, so what if I told you that a lack of love could actually shorten your life?
What?
A new study says that people in emotionally unsupportive relationships face a 42% higher risk of dying within the next decade. Jesus. It's that serious. So let's talk about it. Is staying in the wrong relationship more dangerous than leave? If it's a 42% chance you about to die, y'all do the math real quick.
Yeah, it's
Stress and
definitely more
heart attacks.
dangerous.
My
Yeah,
God.
people really die from stress, from having
That's
too
right.
much stress. It weighs on your health eventually.
Anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
and it does. It manifests itself physically, and your blood cells feel all this stuff. I remember when I was going through something, I went to a nutritionist and got my cells checked, right? Because I was trying to be healthy and under all this stress. And you can see like the cancer cells, pre-cancer cells, they look like gauntlet balls. And you can see all these things like a few here, occurring because you got to get your stress down, because you will manifest these into physical issues.
Now, how do you recommend letting your stress down?
Well, getting your stress down, yes, letting it down. I mean, you're going to have to figure out how to get past the issues or how to deal with them more constructively so your stress levels can come down. You got to talk about it.
I recommend boxing, lady.
That's a good one. That's
to
a
the
good
boxing
physical
gym.
exertion.
Okay, can they do something that's free? What can they do free?
Run,
Boxing's not
walk,
that expensive, but yeah, they could walk. You could walk.
Get a
Turn on some
dog.
music.
dance.
Music is so like
You know what
healing.
I did want to say really quickly to what you were saying, Raquel, about talking about what the cancer kind of looked like in people's body, and it's so crazy to think about it, because I saw something the other day that was saying that tumors like in your body is actually your body's your body trying to heal itself. And so what it does is when these cancerous cells or things are in the body, the tumor is what the body creates to kind of house it somewhere. And so they said that like most people don't die from cancer, they die from cancer treatment because the tumor has housed those cells. And then when they say, hey, we want to go in and test them and see if they're cancerous, they have to lance it, and when they cut it a little bit, they're letting it out.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so that's why it's so important, to figure out what is the necessary steps for you to really lower, whatever's going on, lower your stress levels, things like that, because your body, the stress is going somewhere in your body, whether we feel it or not. when we're screaming and yelling and so upset that you feel something happen in your eyes, something happen in your chest.
Right.
And we think that because we get over it, that it just went away. But
don't.
what if
you
it just
have
went
to release
somewhere
it.
and now your body is creating something to house it, and now you have a cancer
Because
cell.
you can feel your body inside when it tightens up. It sends your
You get
organs
tense,
and everything
yeah.
is tensed up. And sometimes people are so used to staying that way, they don't even realize they're just adjusting to the stress, and it's literally killing them.
And it's so crazy too because I remember growing up, my mom, she had 4 kids. She was a single parent after my dad, but anyways. So she used to say all the time, I ain't gonna let y'all kill me. Y'all know black mama saying, I ain't gonna let y'all kill me.
Mamas too. My mother was one for saying like, y'all not gonna do nothing when I die. Like y'all not gonna say nothing to me when I die. Like when I die.
Well, you're
girl.
right. We won't be able to say
still
that
here.
to you.
Okay. It's always when I die.
Thank God she's there.
Okay.
It's so crazy to think about that. And so what they're saying, because I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not gonna kill you. But what she's saying is the stress that she felt like something was happening in her body, and you feel like
Yeah.
you're about to explode, but you're saying, no, you're not gonna kill me. So we do have to control that. But that's a wrap for today's show. Before we go, here's a quote of the day from Alice Walker. Don't wait around for other people to be happy for you. Any happiness that you get, you gotta make it for yourself. Thanks for spending time with us. Catch us here weekdays only on AfroTV. Good night.
Good night.